So there we go. Wonderful scenes there, Jan. Great stuff for Australia, hey?
Great stuff for them. And at the time, there was 4 o'clock in the morning, I think, in Melbourne, where we saw some of the jubilation. Half of the Australians wouldn't have seen the game, waking up to a breakfast, knowing that they are in the next stage. But I don't think it's a big shock that this Danish team is out. Sorry, Frank. I don't think you haven't done your homework because first of all,
coming from a Norwegian, I have that.
Exactly. That's my neighbor. Denmark is my neighbor. But if you see, they have 7 or 8 strikers, and they've scored 16 goals among them, 7. So they don't have strikers. I will say that at this World Cup so far, they are. I mean, Qatar has been the worst team at this tournament, but Denmark hasn't been far off them from that last position. I've never seen a team play without energy, without will, without passion, without anything. And I think they deservedly go home. Thank God there are teams like Australia who knows what they can do, who are playing efficient on what they can do, and not playing this fizzy-fassy thing, going out from the back, play up to the striker, hold the ball, go on counter-attacks. And Denmark has been terrible. And we have to also say a great story coming into this World Cup with Christian Eriksen. What a story. They built up a fantastic team feeling, and all the due respect to all the Danish players, how they have done with that, and Christian Eriksen coming back. But he's not been good. Let's put it that way, in a polite way. We haven't seen him. He wasn't there either today. And at the end, when they needed goal, what did they do? They put Corneliussen on, who is one of the best headers around. So what do? They keep playing the ball at the back. They don't even put a long ball up to Corneliussen and work for the second ball. So the Danish just go home to Denmark. You can join Norway in the Conference League. That is okay. Just go home.
Okay, listen, in fairness to Frank, maybe he was a little over-optimistic on Denmark, but they had that remarkable run in Euro 2020. They went to the semis.
Maybe he was a little over-optimistic.
A little. In the Nations League, they beat France home and away.
That's the thing I wanted to go to. Seb explained that Mexico maybe didn't play the same thing during the qualification stages to the World Cup. But what I saw from Denmark, it's not randomly that I decided to think that Denmark could win the World Cup and get married maybe to the Little Mermaid, within a month from now in Denmark. But really, it was. I thought through.
Hold on a second. How does Ariel make the broadcast?
No, I really thought through. I saw Denmark playing completely differently when they play against France, and being able to cope with all the big strikers that they have and the front line that they have, and being strong enough to also offer something offensively. What we saw during that World Cup are 3 horrendous games with nothing to offer offensively, with some holes somewhere, almost everywhere defensively. You had nobody except maybe Kasper Schmeichel, in goals trying to do his best. But that was it. And that's so appalling what I saw from Denmark. People kept on calling me and I say, well, do you know what I know? They betrayed me. Well, no, that's not the case. They betrayed themselves. They betrayed themselves, really, because that's not at all what I was expecting from them.
They finished bottom of the group and they scored only 1 goal in 3 games, Ale.
And Jan made the point there that this team looked lifeless, without energy, without urgency. And if there was one thing that we appreciated from this group from the Euros was that they played with energy, that they played with intensity, that they played with urgency, and all that following what we saw with Christian Eriksen on the field, and that whole story, and how that group came together, and what a beautiful and wonderful story was. Inspirational story. You may have thought, logically speaking, Frank, that they would be able to carry that momentum into the World Cup. Man, they could not be any more disappointed, because they could be playing right at this moment still, and they wouldn't score a goal. They never, ever looked like they were anywhere near scoring a goal. They never looked like they had any interest in scoring a goal. They never looked like they had any interest in being part of this competition any further.
Yeah, good.
That's why they're home. They're gone.
You know what? At least I didn't change my mind after the first game.
Oh.
At least.
So don't start trying to deflect it now, Frank.
You should have.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm stubborn.
Okay, so Denmark did... Go on, Jan.
Now, I just think I have to defend Frank, because when he's talking about the Little Mermaid, you're thinking of the Disney mermaid. But Frank, to be fair to him, he's thinking of the mermaid outside Copenhagen.
Yes.
So, Frank,
All
we
right.
have to tell the American viewers that, don't we? So at least you got right on that spot.
Just to be
good.
clear, I wasn't thinking of any mermaid. I had no idea where Frank was
Well,
going.
let's say
Okay.
that from the fairy tale, they went to nightmares.
From one feel-good fairy tale to another then. Australia, the
Yeah.
story though today.
yes.
Yeah, listen, for as critical as we can be, and rightly so, of Denmark, I think you have to give credit to Australia. Because in the first round that we were talking about Jan killing, of Saudi Arabia, of Japan, Australia against France was the definition of men against boys. And I feared for Australia in the balance of the tournament. Yet they put together a performance, and I have to give credit again to my man, the Suter, and the central defender for the Australians, and Matt Ryan in goal for them, who were absolutely outstanding on the day for them against Tunisia, and they continue that again to today. And credit to them for the way they responded, because that could not have been easy after France, because it really was men against boys, as I put it. So 4 o'clock in the morning, they deserve to celebrate. That team has earned it. They've earned their right to be in the second round.
And fair play to Matthew Leckie doing exactly what he had to do, LA, putting the finish on that counter-attack.
And so here's the difference between what we saw from Australia and what we have seen from Poland, right? Both teams have soaring pressure, but at the very least, Australia, when they did get the ball, they were looking for an outlet. They were looking for an opportunity for them to actually go on the counter. And Leckie does so very well in understanding, okay, I have my position, my body position where it needs to be. I'm going to shift it to the inside first. Now I have the defender dancing a little bit. I take him back to the outside, but now you have to put that final touch. So as good as the first touch was, as good as the little dip of the shoulder was, as good as the run was, the finish is what matters. And that was perfect. And it was in a perfect moment as well, because at that point it felt like, well, okay, maybe there's a sign of life for Denmark. And that just said, no, there's no life for Denmark. Australia, well deserved. They scored a goal. They know who they are. They attack the way that they want to attack, and they take advantage of the few opportunities they do create. 1-0. See you guys later.
And one thing I can always rely on my good friend Alexis Nunes is to find where the party is at. Here she is in Qatar with some ecstatic Australia fans.
Out of the group stages for the first time since 2006. How are we feeling?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I was a kid last time I saw this happen. Yeah, it's amazing.
Did you expect this, though?
Of course.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, we had it.
Were you kind of surprised?
Not at all. We knew they were going to win. After their last round against Tunisia, we knew they had it in them. So, yeah, we always...
I was quite surprised, actually. I was.
After we got flogged by France, we thought, oh yeah, this is not going to go very well. But yeah, the Aussie spirit's about fighting, and we're fighters, and that's what we did, you know.
It's a long way to come. Did you actually plan to stay past the group stages?
No, but we might have to change things up tonight. We're going to have to rebook our hotel.
How are you guys feeling?
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Aussie! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Count, Dodds!
And your prize is now Argentina.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
There'll be a lot more talk about that as it comes up, but a massive congratulations to Australia. What an achievement to make it to the round of 16.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.